Hello, this is Ian from Action Language at Action Foundation. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the money that we use here in the UK. All right, so let's have a look at the different coins and notes that we use here and the different names we have for them. So one of the problems that I think people have with British money is that although all the coins are a different size, it's sometimes difficult to know which one is which because, for example, on the 20 pence, there is not a big 20 written. On the 50 pence, there is not a big 50. It's written in letters and it's written quite small. So if it's new to you, it might be a bit confusing. So it's probably better to just look at the color and the shape and the size and to remember those rather than to try to look for the different amounts, or we would say denominations. So these are the different coins that we use. So this is the smallest one, 1 penny or 1 pence, some people would say. And look, here we can see it written 1 penny. Next up, 2 pence. Okay, 2 pence, and this one does have the 2 written on it here. But this is a slightly older one, and some of the new ones, they don't have this written on in the number. Okay, some people might say tuppence, so we just shorten the 2 to tuppence. Here we have our smallest coin, a small silver coin, and here you can see it written 5 pence. Okay, and with all of these penny coins, 1 penny, 2 pence, 5 pence, and so on, you might hear people just say p. So 1p, 2p, 5p. Here we've got 10 pence. You can see it written here, 10 pence. But sometimes with slightly older coins, this will have rubbed away, so you can't really see. 20 pence, here we go. Now it's written very small, but how do we know? We know from the number of sides. So a 20 pence piece has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides, and is smaller than the 50 pence that we have here, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides also. Now here we have our newest coin, which is the new £1 coin, okay, which as you can see has many sides. Okay. And pound coin was changed just a few years ago because lots of people were copying these pound coins, so it's just a little bit more difficult for people to copy. And then here we've got the £2 coin, which is also 2 colors, but it's bigger than the £1 coin. And you can see it's round, it doesn't have many sides. Okay. So those are our coins. 1 penny, 1 pence or 1p, 2 pence or tuppence or 2p, 5 pence or 5p, 10 pence or 10p, 20 pence or 20p, 50 pence or 50p, £1 and £2. Now we call these coins, but the smaller denominations, so from 1p to 50p, you might hear someone call this a piece, a 1 pence piece, a 50 pence piece. Okay, collectible coins. Now, it's usually, but not always, the 50 pence, which is a collectible coin. Now, they're collectible because every now and again, the bank will issue some coins to mark a special event. for an anniversary of some kind. So here you can see many different 50 pence coins. So on one side, you will still see a picture of the Queen, and on the other side, you'll see something a bit different. All right. So let's just have a little look at some of these special coins. Okay, so this one here, it says number 1 because it is one of the most special coins. There are very few of these. Okay, and it says 1759 to 2009. So this was to mark the anniversary of Kew Gardens, which is a kind of a place that you can go in London, special gardens, where they have lots of interesting plants and flowers. We have a lot of coins for sports here, some of which were for, for the Olympics. Remember, we had the Olympics in London in 2012. And also some for literature. So we've got here Beatrix Potter. Beatrix Potter wrote and illustrated some books for children, and we have some of her characters here. So here's Jemima Puddle Duck, one of her famous characters, and here's another one, a squirrel. Okay. And the most famous, perhaps, Peter Rabbit down here. Okay. So if you get one of these coins that's a bit different, maybe you want to keep it. Okay, maybe you want to keep it because you'd like to collect them yourself. If you have children, maybe they would like to collect a group of these coins. It's always a good idea to check online to see if you've got a coin which you could maybe sell for some more money. So if you check on eBay, you will see some of these coins are actually worth a lot more than 50 pence. But if you keep them longer, maybe they'll be worth even more. You can also get some special 20 pence coins, 10 pence coins, and £2 coins for very special events. They make a big £5 coin, but normally we can't use these to buy anything. Okay, although they are legal to use in shops. The £5 coins, normally they're just for keeping to remember special events. Okay, banknotes. So most of the banknotes you see will look like this, and they come from the Bank of England. There are new Bank of England notes and old Bank of England notes, and the old ones, the paper ones, they are disappearing. So soon you will not see these anymore. Please look out for information in shops, especially small food shops and supermarkets, about when the old notes will disappear. So old £5 notes, they have gone, and old £10 notes, they have gone also. But there are still some older £20 notes and £50 notes around. You'll know they're older because they look older, and also they are paper. The new ones, they're a bit smaller and they're kind of plasticky. Okay, so if you've got some old £20 notes, you know, in an emergency store of money, please spend them sooner rather than later. Okay. If you keep them after the time when shops won't accept them anymore, then you can take them to the bank, okay? But this might take you a long time to sort out. And if you leave it too long, you will actually have to go to London to the Bank of England. So please spend them, put them in the bank or exchange them, okay? And hang on to just the plastic ones. So the notes are much easier to tell a difference between. They have it written on in numbers and in words. And as you can see, they get bigger, the bigger the amount. So the £5 note is the smallest one. It's kind of blue-green. Next up, it's the £10 note. It's a little bit bigger and it's kind of orangey brown. A little bit bigger again is a £20 note. It's kind of purple and blue. And then the biggest one is the £50 note. And this is sort of red, yeah, with a kind of a little bit of brown or orange in there as well. Some small shops won't take £50 notes, okay? And even in bigger shops, they will often check these with a special pen or a special light. We have a superstition really in our country about £50 notes, that perhaps they're more often used by criminals, you know, that they're a bit unusual. So if you have an option, maybe you're getting money out of the bank, please ask for, or the post office, please ask for smaller notes, 5, 10 and £20 notes, because £50 notes can be a little bit more difficult to get rid of in certain places. Okay. But it can get a little more complicated. Let's see how. Okay. So, as well as the Bank of England, there are other banks in the United Kingdom which are allowed to print, to make money. Okay. And in Scotland, we have the Royal Bank of Scotland, and Clydesdale Bank. And they produce their own notes as well. And they have new plastic notes and some, again, of the higher denominations, so the 20 and £50 notes. You can also get old paper ones. So suddenly there are so many more notes available. Now, if you live in the north of England, you might get some of these Scottish coins. For example, if you buy food on the train, or if you get money from the post office, or from a cash machine, and certainly if you go to Edinburgh or to Glasgow, you will get these as well. Now, they are fine. They're fine. They're prettier than the English ones. But if you go south, perhaps if you go to London or you go to Nottingham, or if you go to somewhere like Swansea or Cardiff, then people in shops or restaurants might think, and they might not want to take them. So many people in the south of England don't know that there are different banknotes in Scotland. Okay, so spend these in Newcastle, spend them in Scotland, but if you're going south, maybe try to swap this, or if somebody in the post office or in a shop tries to give you one of these, then perhaps you can ask for an English one if you know that you're going to England. Okay, so don't be worried about doing that, because it's not your fault, it's not their fault, it's just a lack of education that we have about money. Okay. So that's a little bit about money in the UK. We talked about the different names for the coins, and we talked about the different banknotes and some of the problems that you might have changing some banknotes. One more point to make is that we have a few names for the £5 notes and for the £10 note. So some people might call a £5 note a fiver and a £10 note a tenner. Okay. If someone wants to borrow £5 or £10 from you, they might say, lend us a fiver or lend us a tenner. Okay. But of course, you should never lend anybody money unless you can really afford to say goodbye to that money forever. That's my advice to you. Okay, so yeah, learn our coins perhaps by their shape and their size rather than by looking at the number. Do look at the picture if you get an interesting picture on your coin. It might be worth something, or you might want to collect them. You might want to give them to your children to start collecting. And be careful about Scottish money, but remember, you should be able to use it anywhere. It's your right, it's legal tender, we would say. If someone won't accept it, that's their problem, but you might just want to avoid that. Okay, and one more kind of interesting thing to remember, if you look at coins, some of our coins, like the 20p coin, are quite old now. If you look at the picture of the Queen on the coin, you can see that actually she gets older as the coins become more modern. So that's something else for you to look out for. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.